Like,
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Kainat Ghazal. I'm a JRF and a PhD scholar here at INSR. I welcome you to today's invited research talk and I thank you for your presence. INSR regularly organizes such scholarly dialogues with national and international scholars. Today's research talk will be delivered by Dr. Sanjukta Gupta, who is an associate professor, modern Indian history, Sapienza University of Rome, Italy. She has completed her MA, MPhil, and PhD from the University of Calcutta. In her extensive period in academics, she has been a JRF, a lecturer in history at Darjeeling Government College, West Bengal, lecturer in history at Rabindra Bharati University, West Bengal, senior lecturer in history, University of Calcutta, associate professor in history, University of Calcutta. She has been the India Chair Professor of Modern Indian History at the Sapienza University of Rome, funded by the Indian Council of Cultural Relations, New Delhi. Apart from that, she has held many fellowships and has been a visiting faculty at many well regarded institutions, some of them being a visiting professor at University of Vienna, Linnaeus University, Sweden, guest professor at Poznania, Poland, among others. She has won several research awards, including some like the Research Award Rockefeller Archival Center, USA, the Research Award for Indian Council of Historical Research, New Delhi, the Charles Wallace Research Grant, Charles Wallace India Trust, and others. She is an active member of several international academic committees like governing body member, Institute of Language Studies and Research, Kolkata, member Advisory Committee of European Association, editorial board and series editor, South Asia Multidisciplinary Academic Journal 2018-23, member of the editorial committee Calcutta Historical Journal, Journal of the Department of History, University of Calcutta 2007 to 13, 2020 to present, member of the editorial board Modern Historical Studies 2000 to 2004. Her edited volumes include Narratives from the Margins, Aspects of Adivasi History and Culture in Colonial and Post-Colonial India, co-edited with Raj Shekhar Basu, New Delhi, Primus Books 2019. In Quest of the Historian's Craft, Essays in Honor of Professor P.B. Chaudhary in two volumes, co-edited with Arun Bandyopadhyay, New Delhi, Manohar 2018. Subjects Civil Law, Colonial and Independent India, co-edited with Ganal Siddharth, Routledge, Delhi 2017. Narratives from the Margins, Aspects of Adivasi History and Culture in Colonial and Post-Colonial India, co-edited with Raj Shekhar Basu, New Delhi, Primus Books 2012. Narratives of the Excluded, Caste Issues in Colonial India, co-edited with Raj Shekhar Basu, Calcutta, KP Bakchi, 2008. She has guest edited with Amit Prakash, Decentering Dominant Narratives in India, special issue of the Revista dei Studi Orientali, supplemental to 2018, and with Rosella Chocca, out of Hidden India, Adivasi Histories, Stories, Visual Arts and Performances, special issue of Anglistica AION 19-1-2015. Some of her recent journal publications include journal articles From Folk to Digital, Transformation of Bengal Pattachitra Art in the Times of Coronavirus, special issue on Civil Society in the Time of COVID-19, Naveen Reid, Nordic Journal of Law and Social Research, number 12, 2022, Christian and Conversion Among Adivasis, Vignettes of the Santal Experience in 19th Century Bengal, Revista dei Studi Orientali, 2/4/2021. Environmental Change, Health and Disease in Bengal's Western Frontier, Chotanagpur between 1800 to 1950s. Journal of the Asiatic Society, Volume 62, Number 4, 2020. Some of her recent book chapters are Travels in Italy, Bengali Writings in the Late 19th and Early 20th Centuries, in Padavitra Chakravarti and Mario Breer edited Bengal and Italy, Transcultural Encounters from the mid-19th to the early 21st century. New York and Oxford, Routledge 2024. Site of Deficiency and Site of Hope, the village in colonial South Asia, in Harold Fisher Tinney and Maria Kramke edited, Routledge Handbook of the History of Colonialism in South Asia, Routledge 2022. Claiming Half the Sky, Aspects of Women's Movement in India After Independence, in T. Lorenzetti edited, Voices of Freedom, Society, Culture and Ideas in the 70th year of India's independence. Dr. Dashgupta has also extensively written in Bangla and has worked in translation. She has innumerable seminars and lectures to her credit. She is also a part of organizations and institutions like the European Association of South Asian Studies, European Rural History Association, Law and Society Association USA, life member the Asiatic Society Kolkata, Indian History Congress India. The title of Dr. Dashgupta's talk is Marginalizing Histories, Historicizing Marginalization, representing Adivasi past in Jharkhand. I now invite Dr. Shati Guho to formally greet Dr. Dashgupta. Welcome, ma'am. We will now have a 40 to 45-minute talk, after which we will open the panel for questions. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you very much for that very generous introduction. Uh, and as you said, the topic of my talk today is marginalizing histories, historicizing marginalization. How do I go for that? So, thank you. What I will be talking about today is really the politics of history writing and the politics of representation. And in this, I will be looking at how marginal communities, and in this case, I will be specifically talking about the Adivasis of Jharkhand, that is the region where I have done the research, and most of my empirical evidence, not most, in fact, all of the empirical evidence comes from this region. And as we all know, communities, indigenous communities, like who style themselves as Adivasis or scheduled tribes in contemporary India, have been marginalized in the mainstream narratives of a certain British colonialism, had played a certain role in this regard. But as history writing, in fact, confers upon them a kind of the historical subjectivity through which they would like to assert their role as citizens of modern India. And as you will see over here, I'm talking about marginalization of histories, marginalization of rather than just histories, the historical subjectivity, I would really like to say. And when we talk about, again, I have used over here some quotations from bell hooks, old, slightly old, 1984, but I find it extraordinarily useful still to look at marginal communities and to understand their location. So one of these, for example, bell hooks talks about right. That in the context of black feminism in the US, that to be in the margin is to be part of the whole but outside the main body. So a position at the margin is marked by a kind of an duality, an intrinsic duality, whereby the marginalized look out at the experience of the center to which they are marginal. At the same time, they look inwards at their own personal experience, which is deemed to be marginal, but it is in fact central to the people inhabiting that space. So this is, of course, a very complex and convoluted stance to look at and to really understand what is the margin, who is the margin, where is the center, and how do we locate the center. Um, and today, and of course, the center, when we see it, is how indigenous communities, for example, looked at themselves, looked at the others, how did they define themselves. Okay, so the terms of the discourse are therefore set by the center, which determines which stories to tell, which histories to record, and this results in the exclusion, in the silencing, the distortion of the stories of those in the periphery. And so the margin today, again, I had taken this from their roots, these are the sites of resistance and the sites of repression, both working together. And so there is today that clamor within the periphery, a clamor to be heard and to narrate their own pasts and their own experiences. And to borrow Dipesh Chakraborty's famous definition, minority histories and subaltern pasts. And these subaltern pasts, or the minorities' histories, are sought to be rewritten today. Um, and yes, so these, in fact, first of all, and sectarian politics of India and development, their claims of retelling their own stories from the perspective of the margins. But in fact, it could be an act of reappropriation by the silenced groups, by the excluded groups, write themselves into history, leading to multiple contentions and competing claims. It could also amount to an attempt to free themselves, to free their pasts from the nation building process. It could be either a reinscription within the mainstream narrative, or it could also amount to a rejection of the mainstream narratives. So now, this is a project which I'm still working on. This is work in progress, and I have just selected four aspects of these kind of histories or representations: the pre-modern narratives, the colonial histories, village histories, and contemporary histories. But there are many other aspects which I could also have included, but I'm still doing the research on